Hello. Please, by all means, take a seat. I was just enjoying some free time on the docks. As long as you don't mind the company of, well, one such as myself. I certainly don't mind the company of one such as yourself either. My name is Cinnabar, friend. It's a pleasure to meet you. And your name? A fine name it is, too. Please, make yourself comfortable. What brings you out here? Ah, sounds about the same as myself then. It's a nice scene, isn't it? Dangling your bare feet off the edge of the pier, feeling the ocean spray against your ankles, watching the sun go down over the water. Maybe it's stereotypical, romantic, what have you. But it's... gosh. It's a good sight, isn't it? I enjoy my journeys. I have plenty of them, all over. To the mountains, and to the forests, and to the bustling cities. But nothing quite does it for me, like a spot, just like this. I think something about the side of the ocean. It just reminds me of how small we are, relatively speaking. Maybe that's a scary thought for some, but I find it can be a great sense of comfort, too. It reminds me that no matter how expansive, how all-consuming something may seem, it's unlikely to even be a blip in the grand scheme of things. It makes the scary parts of life seem a little less scary. And the special parts, well, they seem all the more special. The journeying. Yes, I'm quite the traveler. Why? Well, why not? I suppose there's just a call for me. Or maybe I'm the one doing the calling. I simply like to see the world. You do too, don't you? I can only assume that's why you've joined me here on the docks today. At the very least, you like to see this little slice of the world. Ah, I promise, I don't philosophize like this all the time. I can be quite fun when I want to be. But sometimes the world is scary. Far scarier than a supposed devil with a guitar like myself. Although I suppose that is an admittedly biased opinion, we all need to let things out in one way or another. How do I do it? Let things out, you mean? Well, I suppose I come to the beach. I play a bit of music to set the sun to sleep. And apparently I philosophize to strangers. A good way of coping as any, I suppose. Is that why you're here? To philosophize, to center yourself, to find your footing? Well, I know we've only just met, but I'm happy to help if you wish. Helping others can be a therapeutic way of helping yourself, I find. Some regard humanity as inherently selfish, as greedy and hoarding individuals. But I don't particularly subscribe to that idea. I find it much more conducive to my own day-to-day going-ons and my mental health, to be frank. To think of some, a small sum, as raucous and disruptive, sure, but a vast, albeit sometimes silent, majority of folk are well-meaning, getting along and just doing their best. And you, I think you certainly fall into that second group. You strike me as the sort who does their best to get along. Some days, that can be a very brave thing to do. Here, come closer. You look as if you're getting cold. I've got more than enough layers for the both of us. Let me spare a shawl for you for the time being. Here you are. Wrap yourself up in it, yes. You'll be more comfortable. The breeze out here gets quite chilly quite quickly. There we are. How was that? A little better? Good, good. Me? No, I'm heartier than I look, I promise. I told you I've got a wandering soul and a pair of wandering legs that have taken me into far hardier climates than this. Taken me into plenty of trouble, too, I'll have you know. Weather like this is divine by comparison to some that I've experienced. You wouldn't hear me complaining for at least another 10, maybe 20 degrees. What about you? Tell me a bit about yourself. Do you fancy travels? Or are you more of the settling sort? I don't find anything particularly wrong with the latter, although it's not for me. I find it confining. But others may find it stable, laden in familiar comforts. The explorations I find freeing might be daunting, frightening for others. Things like that are out of our control to some extent, after all. Oh, of course not. I don't mean to insinuate you have to be one or the other. I'm quite on the extreme end myself. I wouldn't expect everyone to take such a strong lean to one side of the spectrum as I do. Well, it looks like I've picked up myself quite the psychologist here, haven't I? No, please don't be embarrassed. I don't mind. I appreciate the question. I enjoy the chance to sit and chat like this. I only hope I haven't been talking your ear off when you came in hope of silence. I haven't, have I? You won't offend me at all if that's what you wish. I'd happily sit here and listen to the waves and the gulls and the quiet with you, if that's what you'd prefer. Well, if at any point you decide you do tire of my voice, that you would prefer just the ambiance, don't be shy in saying so. I've got tough skin, I assure you. It won't offend me. But as for your question, no, I don't feel as if I'm running from anything. Maybe I did, at one point. Maybe that's what set me off on my wanderlust. But it isn't what keeps me going. As I said earlier, the world can feel big, scary, all-consuming at times. Sometimes it feels like we've been chewed up and swallowed whole. And that's a very valid feeling. Truly, the world can be that way. But I suppose it's like how I felt about the ocean. Thinking about what I've been through, where I've gone, and how much else I know lies ahead of me, what I have yet to see. I get so excited about the prospect of that. It helps me forget about past darknesses. And meeting people such as yourself, lights along the way. I can't begin to tell you what that does for the soul. To tell the truth, as much as I generalize my love as a simple love for travel, it's not truly a love of travel for travel's sake alone. It's meeting people like you, seeing grand sights like this one. It's learning stories, can't tell you how much I love a good story. Sometimes you pick up stories on your travels, and sometimes you end up falling into your own, whether you mean to do so or not. Something tells me you're the sort of person one might fall into a story with if one were to tag along with you long enough. You know that? No, 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 no. Don't sell yourself short. We're often so much braver, so much more than we thought we could be. I'm sure you have plenty of surprises in store for yourself. A medal to test that I'm sure you'll find more resolute and more steadfast than you could have ever imagined. Oh, but today isn't a day for that. It's not a day for resolution, is it? Twilight becomes upon us, so it's hardly day at all now. Rather, I think tonight is a night of respite. All the world's souls are weary, and I don't know a better rest for the spirit than a bit of music. Oh, I promise, I'm not too shabby. We all have our ways of telling stories. This just so happens to be my favorite. And I do promise I've put my time in practice. Humor a wandering devil, won't you? Scoot in close. You can lean against me if you'd like. We'll keep it with something soft, something restful. Close your eyes and just take a few moments to enjoy.